Before 1980, the China exports market was not a big part of world trade. Philosophical changes beginning in 1978 made possible the huge changes that we saw by the late 1980s. China is the fastest growing economy in the world today, and China exports are surpassed by no other country. It is impossible to be involved in the world market without dealing with China exports in one way or another. Why Chinese exports are so important? It is understandable why the Chinese government wants to continually export more products worldwide. Maintaining growth is dependent on income from other parts of the world. In the last 30 years, China's growth rate has been 10% on average, and that is attributable to both imports and exports. Chinese businessmen realize that the huge export opportunity is the best way to build their companies fast. Selecting products to export. Because China is a sovereign nation, it has industries of all types. The person or entity preparing to export goods needs only to establish contacts for the products available to export. There is competition from within the country, which help to keep pricing honest for the buys of these goods. Production numbers stay tight for the success of any China exports business. World acceptance of Chinese export products continues to grow, creating markets in every sector. What are the problems facing China exports? The most obvious hardship for any exporter from China is the language and custom differences. The United States is a big player in China exports, but there are many other nations that represent a good market Chinese exports. Finding the right intermediaries to bridge the language gap is essential for the success of any long-term relationship. Also, establishing a trusting relationship between the entities is not to be taken for granted. This only comes with time. Making connections for prospective clients. Chinese companies who are big players in export trade often employ people with some international language skills to make contacts and develop new business relations. Either through intermediaries or by their own solicitation, Chinese merchants attempt to find brokers who will find buyers in the country they are exporting to. When a connection is made, understand that China exports freight charges can be expensive, so it is important that volumes are large enough to offset the per unit cost of freight. What are the major exports from China? At one time, China exports were only cheap trinkets, but then they moved to textiles and other lines of products. Although textiles are still a large part of China's exports, China is becoming better noted for high-dollar items. Cell phones, computers, and other technology items now account for a large dollar percentage of the China export trade. Other top dollar items for export are machinery, automobiles, and equipment, including tractors and maintenance machinery. China is now the largest manufacturer in the world, and as such exports must continually increase if they are to hold their status on the world stage. There are many golden opportunities for those who master the art of importing and exporting, and as the world stage changes, these opportunities will still exist. Only the countries who trade may differ.